सुनीता मैडम फुल स्क्रीन करा.
हो ओके मॅम.
share our main screen? Hello. Mehak madam, are you there? Hello.
She's not there right now. She's not there, madam. No, she's there in the meeting. She's there. She's there. Just talk to her, ma'am.
Hello, madam. Mehak ma'am is having little problem, technical issues. She will join. Means like she has
Okay.
problem with her mic, so she is not audible to us. So she will join.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hello. Ma'am, Mehak this side. Am I audible to you people?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning. I'm so sorry. Actually, now what I've done is I've joined from my mobile phone
Okay.
and I'll be sharing my screen from the system.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I don't think I have the rights to share my screen.
You will be given the rights, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sunita, ma'am, you can give her rights, no, to share her screen.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Am I visible to you people? I think so
Yes.
now.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
A very good morning to one and all. Finally, we are connected.
Finally.
Yeah. Ma'am, please, if you could allow me to share the screen so that we can start.
Yeah. Before, So, shall we start, madam? Chavan, madam?
Yes.
Yes, yes. But Sunita, ma'am, have you given her rights to share the screen?
Screen.
Yes.
Or what I can do is, ma'am, I can share the presentation with you if you are okay with that. And
Yeah,
you
no
can
problem.
share.
Okay.
Sunita, ma'am, if she gives you the presentation, you can share it, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. So I'll share it with you. And in the meantime, by the time you share, we can start with the session also.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So shall we go ahead with it?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, all. Speaker of today's session, dear Mehak Batra Madam, Examiner of Patents and Designs, Principal of the College, Dr. Rajashri Chauhan, dear faculty members, and dear students. I, Dr. Smita Pawar, in the capacity of a coordinator of this IPR awareness program and head of the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, extend my warm welcome to one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank Mehak Betra Madam, Examiner for Patents and Designs, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trades, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for giving us this opportunity to present and host such an important aspect related to IPR for the students and faculties. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So today's program has been organized in association with the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell and AICT under the flagship of Kapila and National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, that is Nipam. I would like to brief about this program like that it's IPR is nothing but the rights given to a person over the creation of their minds. So they usually give the creators an exclusive rights over the use of his or her ideas or creations for a certain period of time. So we are going to listen to Mehak Betra Madam on this in detail. So I'm very much thankful to Madam for accepting our request and for being with us today. Before we begin with the session, I would like to invite our college principal, Dr. Rajashri Chauhan, to share a few words on this. Madam, over to
Yes,
you.
yes. Thank you, madam, and good morning and warm regards to all. In the very beginning, let me express my regret for the inconvenience caused due to delay in the program. So I'm pleased to extend a very warm welcome to one and all present in today's online IPR awareness program organized under the flagship of Kapila and Nipam in collaboration with our college, that is Pune District Education Association, Seth Govind Raghunath Sabre College of Pharmacy, Saswad. On behalf of PDA and our college, I would like to offer a special welcome and heartfelt thanks to our today's speaker, Mehak Batra ma'am, Examiner of Patents and Designs, DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for being with us to enlighten us. How rightly it is said that no power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. In the modern world, intellectual property rights have a significant influence on international trade and indigenous trade of every nation. With the advent of digitalization, there are high chances of creative ideas being stolen by any third party without prior permission. Intellectual property protection is critical to fostering innovation. Without protection of ideas, businesses and individuals would not reap the full benefits of their inventions and would focus less on research and development. In order to enhance creativity, innovation, competitiveness, and economic growth in India, it is imperative to harness IP. With the phenomenal growth of the Indian economy, it is vital that IPRs are generated in India and then legally protected and exploited. Inadequate knowledge about the rights of individuals to protect their ideas and innovations and low awareness about the procedures involved in obtaining an IPR has hindered India's growth in intellectual property. With India's potential and its importance in the global arena, it's a time we rise and become a leader in innovation and intellectual property. Thus, there is a need to create IP awareness among all sections of society as IP is creation of the mind. The students in schools and colleges and universities, industry clusters, and citizens across India in urban as well as in rural areas must be educated and made aware about the intellectual property rights. I think with this very objective, the government has taken the right initiative under Kapila and Nipam to ignite the minds of aspirators through IPR awareness program. I thank AICT and Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for obliging us with an opportunity to provide platform for arrangement of this program. I truly appreciate the efforts put in by Dr. Smita Paur Madam for smooth and effective coordination and execution of this event. I'm thankful to all the delegates who have registered and are here to attend the program. I'm sure that they will definitely gain the right kind of knowledge to our today's session by Batra ma'am. Our technical support team, Mr. Manish Bhagat, Mr. Sagar Bise, and Mrs. Sunita Bhagat, deserves a special mention here. Thanks to all once again, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Before proceeding with the session, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Mehak Batra madam. She is working as an examiner of patents and designs at the Patent Office, Mumbai, Government of India since January 2020. She primarily deals with the examination of applications filed for the patents in the field of computer science. And she is also a member of an editorial team of IPR newsletter. Formerly, she was worked as a software developer at 197 Communications and as an assistant professor at Dayal Singh College, Karnal. She did her bachelor's degree of technology in computer sciences from Kurukshetra University in 2014 and did her master's of technology in computer science from PEC University of Technology. She has also did her training in machine learning Coursera by Andrew Stanford in 2018, and she has many publications to her credits. And her main area of work seems to be in the wireless sensor networking. With this, I welcome again Ms. Mehak Batra madam, and over to you, Batra madam, and let us see how our audience will get benefited with your words of wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very big thanks to you for having me here. First of all, I would also like to sincerely apologize for the technical delay that happened over here. And a very good afternoon to one and all. I would like to welcome all the faculty members present over here, Dr. Rajshri and Pawar ma'am, and all the delegates, those who have joined from all various other institutes. So without any further ado, I would like to start with the session. As all of you would be knowing that India celebrated 75th year of independence last year. And under the same occasion, Government of India took this initiative called Nipam, under which training was imparted to millions of students regarding IPR, that is intellectual property rights. Now we are in the second leg of the same program, that is Nipam 2.0. And under the same program, I have got this opportunity to interact with you people. I want to convey a heartily thanks to PDA's Seth Govind Raghunath Sebel College of Pharmacy, Saswat. So, ma'am, could you please share the presentation?
I've shared. Share. Even you can share also.
Ma'am, I'm not getting the option. I don't have the rights, I guess.
No, you have given the rights. There is one option, share a screen.
No, ma'am, actually not.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes.
I think you would have given me the rights. Yeah. So as ma'am, could you please switch it to full screen mode? As you can see, NIPAM, that is National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission. First of all, I would like to start with the concept of intellectual property. I'm sure most of you would have heard about this word intellectual property. If not intellectual property, I'm sure you people, every one of you in fact, would have heard about the word property, right? So what is property? Your house, your car, your bike is your property. Now, how did that become your property? It is because it is registered under your name, right? So just imagine if someone comes and starts staying inside your house without your permission. Would you like it? No, right? So same is the case with intellectual property. If someone uses it without your permission, you won't like it either. So how can you stop them from using your intellectual property? It is only by getting it registered or protected under your name. So the main focus today for in our session will be the importance of getting your intellectual property registered. Fine. Now we talk about the word intellectual property. If I convert this word into literal Hindi meanings, it would translate into Bodhik Sampada. Intellect means anything related to your mind. Intellect is buddhi. सो बौद्धिक कुछ भी जो आपकी बुद्धि से जनरेट हुआ है, जो माइंड से जनरेट हुआ है, that is known as intellectual property. But how will it become your intellectual property? Only once you get it registered under your name, then only you can claim the rights of that intellectual property. Next slide, please. Today, we will be discussing these 6 types of intellectual property. To start with, I'll take a very basic example. Just imagine a bike is parked outside your college or outside your home. Will you people be able to identify what bike is that? Which bike is that? Is it a pulsar bike? Is it a bullet bike or something else? Most of you will say yes, right? Now, how did you identify that bike? Just by looking at it, you were able to identify. So what is this called? When you are able to identify or recognize or differentiate between anything that is registered under the subject matter of designs. So whenever we talk about aesthetic feel or looks of any object or device or anything, that falls under the subject matter of designs. Now, let's say, for example, you were not able to identify that just by looking at it. Many of you would be there who won't be able to identify, and I am one of them. So if we are not able to identify just by looking at it, we always see something or other, some name or some some mark is there written over there. For example, I'll take the example pulsar. If a pulsar bike is standing, pulsar word would be written. And it's not that pulsar on one bike would be written with a P capital, on some other bike it would be written with a P small. No, right? It's always written similar on all the pulsar bikes. So anything which is giving identity to an object, it could be a name, it could be a symbol, it could be a word or anything which is giving you would have seen an Audi car. There are 4 triangles, I think. I'm also not very much aware about cars and bikes, but Audi car has its own symbols. Then we were talking about pulsar bike. So pulsar is written on all the bikes in a similar manner. That is giving identification, recognition to that particular object. So this falls under the subject matter of trademarks. Fine. Now, let's talk about the working or functioning of that bike. What will happen when I apply brakes to that bike or when I give race to that bike? जब हम brakes apply कर रहे हैं, there is a wire connected from the handle towards the tires which is pressed और उसी के through brakes apply होती हैं, right? So here we are talking about the working mechanism. Whenever we talk about working mechanism or technical advancement, that falls under the subject matter of patents. To explain you patents a little more clearly, I would like to take another example. See, earlier we used to write with feathers and ink pots, right? Then what was the problem over there? We had to dip the feather again and again in the ink. It used to write 2-3 words and then again we were dipping. This was the problem. Then came the era of fountain pens. Now again, they were writing more than 2-3 words, but again, what was the problem with them? That ink was to be refilled again and again. Then came ballpoint pens. What was the issue with ballpoint pens? Can you people reply in the chat box? Ma'am, is the chat box open to everyone?
Yes, they can. Not actually.
Okay, fine. Not an issue.
Panelists can see.
Okay, fine. Not an issue. So what was the issue with ballpoint pens? Once they fall down, जो उसकी ball होती थी, it used to get dislocated, and then again they were not able to write ballpoint pens. उसके अब हमें ये problem आई तो हमने एक और solution सोचा. What was that solution? The normal ball pens that we are using these days. अब normal ball pens में क्या है? That ball is not present. Even if it is present, it is not affected even if you drop the pen. So can you see how technical advancement we thought of a solution and then came another innovation. So whenever we talk about technical advancement or working mechanism of anything, that falls under the subject matter of patents. I believe able to differentiate now. Next, we talk about geographical indications. Now, as the name suggests, geographical indications, if I translate it into Hindi, it would translate into Bhugolik Updarshan, right? So, geographical indication clearly means anything which is related to a particular place. Geography kya hai? Geography means location, right? So, anything which is particular to a specific location, it has some specific origin, that would fall under the subject matter of geographical indications. आगरा का पेठा सबने सुना होगा, नागपुर के ऑरेंजेस सुने होंगे. Now, why are oranges only from Nagpur famous, not from somewhere else? This is because of a special quality that is found in the oranges of Nagpur and not found anywhere else. So these type of things are registered under the subject matter of geographical indications. Next, we move on to the category of copyrights. Whenever you buy any product from the market, you always get a user manual, be it a refrigerator or a washing machine or a computer, laptop, you get a user manual along with that. So that falls under the subject matter of copyrights. Copyrights is nothing but any literary work, right? Next, we move on to semiconductor integrated circuits layout design, that is SICLD. These days you are seeing the size of the gadgets is getting reduced day by day, right? So how is this happening? This is happening because the size of chip is getting reduced day by day. तो जो चिप में क्या होता है, चिप में there is an arrangement of the transistors and these circuits and transistors, the way they are arranged, that falls under the subject matter of semiconductor integrated circuits layout designs. Fine. Next slide, please. Now you can see on the screen which company's laptop is this. Usually we interact with the audience using the chat box, but since it is not available, so I'm assuming all of you would have guessed by now. This laptop belongs to the company of Apple, right? So how were you able to identify? Due to this half cut apple that is present over there. So what is this half cut apple doing? This is giving recognition to Apple company. So this is the trademark of Apple company, right? Next, we move on to how is the laptop looking? The body of the laptop. We can talk about the width, the height, the length, the breadth, all these things. So when we talk about looks, aesthetic feels, this will fall under the subject matter of designs, right? Next, if I talk about the LED display here being used, सबसे पहले क्या होता था डिस्प्ले के लिए, जो नॉर्मल बिल्कुल टीवी स्क्रीन्स होती थी, वो मोटे मोटे कैथोड रे ट्यूब्स यूज्ड टू बी देयर, राइट? एंड दीस डेज वी आर यूजिंग LEDs, LCDs. सो ये क्या है? टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंप्रूवमेंट है. when I talk about LED display being used here, तो ये किसके अंडर फॉल होगा? पेटेंट्स के अंडर, since we are talking about the technical improvement, technical advancement over here. I'll interact with you people maybe by the end of the session then, since it's not possible to interact in between. I want you people to think about what else except this LED display can be patented in this laptop. Fine, I'll take this answer at the end. Next, user manual will fall under the subject matter of copyrights. Then we have a layout of the chip that is placed here. This would fall under SICLD design. Next slide, please. Now, what are intellectual property rights? It's not that आपने कुछ सोचा अपने माइंड में and that is your intellectual property. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You will have to work on it. You will have to apply some resources, apply some labor. उसको कहीं पे आपको fix करना पड़ेगा. Then you will apply for the rights and then only it will become your intellectual property. Next. What is the importance and significance of getting your intellectual property protected? Once your intellectual property is registered under your name, you can exclude others from using it and you can utilize it, commercialize it and earn from it. This case is very similar to any normal property that you people would have. For example, I took the example of a house in the beginning. You won't like it if someone else comes and starts staying inside your house. Why? Because that is your property. So similar is the case with intellectual property. If it is registered under your name, you can exclude others from using your property. It is only your property and you have the whole right to use it the way you want to use it. Next, please. Now we look at the ways you can utilize or commercialize your intellectual property. First is you can use it on your own. Uh, then you can assign the license to someone else. Or what you can do is franchisees, every one of you would have heard. We'll consider the case of McDonald's, right? So what do you people think? जो बर्गर की रेसिपी है, क्या वो हर जगह अलग अलग सबने सोची होगी? No, right? जो बर्गर की रेसिपी है was developed at one place only, and then what McDonald's did was franchisees create की गई और उन सबको वो recipes दे दी गई. Now the burger of McDonald's taste same everywhere, right? Then is merchandise, Disney clothes, Disney pencil boxes, Disney tiffins, Disney bags. Every one of us has seen that, right? So these are the ways you can utilize and commercialize your intellectual property. Next, we move on to the first category, that is the patents. In a little bit of detail, we will discuss this now. So what is a patent? Patent basically hai kya? It is a grant by the sovereign or state. That is, the government of India will give you this right. ये right है कैसा? This is an exclusive right. What do you understand by exclusive? That this is only your right. You have the right to decide how and when to, where to use your invention, right? Now, when do you get this right? This is given to you only when you disclose your invention completely to the government of India, or while filing a patent. For example, let's think of a microwave. Microwave is already patented, hence I'm taking this example. So microwave में क्या है? There is a display is there जहाँ पे temperature display होता है. Actually, different types of microwaves have different features. So I'll take a very basic one. Display है जहाँ पे हमें temperature display हो रहा है. There is a knob to set the temperature. There are multiple buttons to set the timings, or multiple functions are there. There could be a button on the press of which the door gets opened. Then a bulb is switched on inside the microwave. So everything from the starting till the end has to be disclosed. Only then are you granted the patent. ये जितने भी functions हमने discuss किए, ये सब आपको clearly explain करना पड़ेगा कि किस बटन से क्या चीज perform हो रही है. Since in patents we are talking about working mechanisms only and technical advancement. What is the benefit of getting a patent? It gives you the right to exclude others from using your invention. This is true in case of all intellectual property rights, right? If it is registered under your name, you can exclude others from using it. Then you have the qualified right to use your invention. Next. This is the first patent that was granted in 1856. George Alfred D. Penning को दिया गया था ये patent. Actually पहले क्या होता था? You people would have seen in movies कि हाथ से पंखे चलते थे हम, right? So what Mr. Alfred D. Penning did was he attached a pulley to that fan. तो उससे हुआ क्या? We were only supposed to pull that pulley और पंखा उससे चलेगा. So this made our lives easier, right? There was technical advancement involved, working mechanism involved. This was an efficient pankha pulling machine, the first patent. Then there are examples of some more inventions. You can go through them once. Next. We will discuss some more examples of patents so that you clearly can identify. First, if you see, is the example of a baby wearing a hat. पहले क्या होता था? बच्चे used to, वैसे आजकल भी रोते ही हैं बच्चे. Everyone does not have access to this. So like water will go into our eyes, shampoo will go into our eyes, soap will go into our eyes. What we have done is we have made the baby to wear a cap. इससे हुआ क्या? जो पानी है वो eyes में जाने से रुक गया. So although here also the child is quite sad, but still see, this is very beneficial for us. This is actually the example of a utility patent. These are not yet being granted in India, but elsewhere they are being granted. Next, we move on to the a bracelet with the help of which we can project our mobile screen. Now, this again is not patented yet, but just imagine if this gets patented, life would be so easier for us. We won't have to carry our mobile phones everywhere. Just by the bracelet, we can project the screen of our mobile on our skin itself. Next is the example of a swipe machine which has been attached to the mobile phone. These were being used, but nowadays they are not again being used. But obviously it is quite convenient rather than carrying those bulky machines, swipe machines with ourselves. We have just attached the swipe functioning to the mobile phone. So it's obviously making our lives easier. Last is the example of drones. Drones सबने देखे हैं, marriages में, political parties में, everywhere you have seen. पहले क्या होता था, एक separate helicopter होता था जिसमें एक photographer को बिठाया जाता था and that person used to click pictures from the top, right? अभी क्या है, we can simply stand on the ground and operate this drone standing on the ground itself, and we get all the pictures of the functions or political parties, marriages, everything. Next. Now, once you think of something new, how are you going to file the patent for that? Now, when you file for a patent, there are 5 very basic forms, very easy to understand, which you have to fill and are mandatory. First is Form 1. Form 1 will include the details of applications and applicant. For example, the name of the applicant, nationality of the applicant, the residential address, and all these things. Then comes Form 2. Form 2 is the most important form. Form 2 में क्या होगा, आपकी पूरी invention की details होंगी. In the earlier slide we discussed, you are granted a patent only if you disclose everything, right? So in Form 2 you have to do this thing only. You have to disclose all the details related to your invention. Drawings are a very important part. Me being an examiner, I'm telling this from my point of view itself, that drawings help us understand the invention in a very better and efficient way, you know. All this has to be done in Form 2. Then comes Form 3. If you're filing the same application in foreign, then you have to give those details in Form 3. Then is Form 5, where you have to declare that you are the inventor. Last is Form 18. Now, without Form 18, your application will not be examined. Form 18 is very important to file for examination. You have a time period of 48 months from the priority date, but I would suggest if it is ready with you, you file it along with other forms itself, right? Next. This is the fee for Form 1, 1600 if you are a natural person, 8000 other than a natural person. Then Form 2, there is no fee up to 30 pages and 10 claims. Form 3 and Form 5 are again free of cost. Form 18, 4000 for a natural person and 20,000 if you are a company, right? So total for a natural person, it is just 5,600, and for a company, it is 28,000. Next. Fees you can go through once. Then how are you supposed to file? You can either file it in online mode or offline. If you're filing it in online mode, you simply have to visit the website IP India Online. If you are filing it offline, you will have to check for the jurisdiction. In India, we have 4 intellectual property offices: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata. So while filing offline, you will have to check the jurisdiction. Now, if I talk about Pune, that will fall under the jurisdiction of Mumbai office itself. So you can come here and submit your application. Next. Now there is a process where you can accelerate your examination. That is known as expedited examination. But there are certain conditions that are to be fulfilled if you want to file for expedited. That means everyone cannot file for expedited examination, right? What are the conditions for expedited examination? First is if you are a startup. Second is if you are a small entity. Then if applicant is a female. Now this is a win-win situation for boys, and for girls obviously it is. So if a boy has invented something and you include your mother, your sister, or even if a friend, wife, anyone who is a female, then you can go for expedited examination. That is in case of joint applicants. Even if one of the applicant is a female, you can go for expedited examination, right? Then if you have assigned India as IS and IPA in PCT, now PCT is altogether a different subject matter, a very detailed subject matter. So I will not take this up right now. Then there is a PPH agreement. This again also is a different subject matter, so we can discuss it sometime later. Next, patent application processing. Next, how is your application processed? First of all, when we receive your application, we look for formal examination and technical examination. Now, what is formal examination? We check if you have filed all the forms in that. That is the 5 forms that I explained you earlier: Form 1, Form 2, Form 5, Form 3, and Form 18. These all are checked if they have been filed properly or not. Then comes technical examination. Technical examination में क्या है? Ma'am, can we move on to the next slide once and then we will come back to this? The next, yeah, technical examination में what we do is, first of all, we read and understand your invention in relation with the drawing. See, I told you drawings play a very important part, right? Then we have our own database through which we search if your invention is new. There we check for inventive step and novelty, right, from our database. Now, what is novelty? Novelty simply means that it should be something new. Inventive step, we acknowledge an inventive step if your invention is not a combination of already existing inventions. Even if it is, it might be a combination, but still there should be some technical advancement in that. Then a detailed examination report is prepared and sent back to you. The previous slide, please. So once the gist of objections is communicated to you, you can check for it, reply back. Once we receive the reply, then again we recheck and re-examine if the objections are met. If they are met, then we remove the objections, or otherwise they may be sustained. Finally, a hearing is left. A hearing is scheduled, and after the hearing, the decision to grant or refuse a patent is taken. Next. Most of you would have guessed by now who is he. He is Michael Jackson. I wanted to again interact with you people on this slide, but fine. So Michael Jackson, every one of us knows him that he was a great dancer, right? But very few of us would be knowing that he was a great inventor as well. इन्होंने क्या invent किया था? He invented a shoes using which he could bend at this angle, the way slanting way he's standing. Next. So these are the drawings of the anti-gravity shoes that were invented by him. Next. Now this is again a very famous invention. What this girl did was she attached the bicycle with a washing machine. So just imagine, without electricity, washing machine could run. Next. Now we move on to the next category, that is designs. Next slide, please. What is design? Design is nothing but simply the aesthetic feel of anything. Look, it could be the shape, it could be the configuration, pattern, ornament, composition of lines or colors. All this falls under the subject matter of designs. We will look at some more examples next. These are the examples of designs. You people would be having sofa sets at your home. Now, are all the sofa sets, do they look same? No, right? You can differentiate between them by looking at them. So when we can differentiate between things just by looking at them, that falls under the subject matter of designs. Next. This is set of articles. When a few articles bear the same design, then we can register them as set of articles. Next. You would have seen girls, whenever they get ready for a function, they want everything to be matching, right? The necklace should match with their earrings, with their bangles, with their dress and all these things. So ये क्या है, जब हम किसी भी articles पे same design देखते हैं, तो that is known as set of articles. These are some more examples you can go through. Next. Filing of design applications. You can again file it online or offline. The design applications are processed only at Intellectual Property Office, Kolkata. So if you're filing it online, then again, you can visit the website IP India Online and file it over there. But if you're filing it offline, you will have to check the jurisdiction, and wherever you file after digitization, your design application will go to Kolkata office for processing, right? Next. These are the forms. The way we had some forms that were to be filled while filing for a patent application, you have to file a few forms while filing for designs application as well. So first is application form 1, which again will contain the details about applicant ka name, nationality, legal status, residential address, and all these things. Then there are 2 sets of representation sheets. I'll show you the specimen in the next slide. Representation sheets kya hoti hain? Power of attorney if it is required, assignment document, form 24 if applicant is a startup or small entity. Application fee for individual is 1,000 rupees, and if you are a other than natural person, it is 4,000 rupees. Next. So this is the specimen of a representation sheet. Now since we are filing for design, obviously एक drawing तो जरूरी है ही, तो सबसे पहले हमने एक drawing दी. Now if you look at the second sentence, no claim is made by virtue of this registration in respect of any mechanical or other action. यहाँ पे हम ये क्यों लिख रहे हैं? Because whenever we talk about mechanical or any other action or any mechanism, that time we talk about patents, and designs is a separate thing, patents is a separate thing. So when we are claiming for designs over here, we cannot claim for any working mechanism. Next line, if you read, no claim is made by virtue of this registration to the exclusive use of words, letters, numbers, or trademarks. Again, trademarks is a different intellectual property right. So when we are claiming for designs, we are not supposed to claim for trademarks. Next, this type of 2 sheets are to be given by you. This is the example of a certificate that you are provided if your design gets registered by the government of India. Next. Now, how will you show if your IP is protected or not? Before, you just have to check for the word written registered or REGD or RD over there. If these words are present, that means your design is registered. Next. Okay, so again, you people can't reply, but I think most of you would have guessed ये किसकी bottle है. This is Harpic, right? So the main motive here is that once you can identify anything just by looking at it, that will fall under the subject matter of designs. Next, please. This is again an example to show you people. Next. We move on to the category of trademarks. Next. What is a trademark? Any word, name, symbol or device, right? कोई भी चीज हो सकती है जो किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को या कंपनी को उसकी पहचान दे रही है, उसकी आइडेंटिफिकेशन दे रही है, या बाकी सबसे डिस्टिंग्विश करने में उसकी हेल्प कर रही है. इसका फंक्शन और इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है? द फंक्शन इज सिंपली टू प्रोवाइड अ गुडविल इन द मार्केट. जब भी हम ओके, सो आई विल टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ क्लोथ्स. I'm not promoting any brands over here, but still, whenever we go to the market and we see कि किसी product पे Zara का label है, so we prefer that. That is basic human nature, right? So why do we prefer that? Because we know the quality of the fabric would be good, right? So these are the things that is provided by trademark. Trademark provides you a goodwill in the market, right? Next, please. These are the different categories of trademarks. All these are trademarks only, but we have just divided them into categories. First, if you see trademark, now there is a tick mark placed on the screen. Which brand's trademark is this? Nike. Every one of you would be knowing. Since this is only a mark, so this is a trademark. Now, if we look at the word Google, only the Google name is written. So this is the example of a trade name. Next, we move on to Adidas. Adidas has a word written over there and 3 slanting lines are also there. So this is a collection of trademarks and trade names. This is known as a collective distinctive mark, right? Certification marks, ISI marks सबने सुना है. Then taglines, जिंदगी के साथ भी, जिंदगी के बाद भी. Every one of you would have heard किसकी है ये? LIC की. So this is the example of a tagline. Next we move on to shapes. जो कोका कोला कंपनी की बॉटल है, that is registered under trademarks. जो उसकी shape है, that is registered under trademarks. So we can also get shapes registered under trademarks, right? Next we move on to sound marks. All of you would have watched cartoons when you were young, right? तो जब हम टॉम एंड जेरी का कार्टून देखते थे, उससे पहले देयर यूज्ड टू बी अ लायन दैट यूज्ड टू रोर. सो वो क्या है? उसका साउंड मार्क है. देन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट टिंग टिंग टिटिंग, ये भी आई थिंक आप लोगों ने सुना होगा. सो ये किस कंपनी का ट्रेडमार्क है? ब्रिटानिया का ट्रेडमार्क है ये. ब्रिटानिया का साउंड मार्क है ये. सो ऑल दीज आर ट्रेडमार्क्स ओनली, बट it's just that they have been named as different categories. Next slide, please. What is a good trademark? It should be distinct from others. It should not be deceptively similar. What people have started doing these days is, for example, Adidas is written. What they will do? They will replace D with a B. What it becomes? Abibas. So is this a good trademark? No, not at all. ये क्या है? कहीं से कॉपी किया गया है. So a good trademark क्या है? It should be distinct, सबसे अलग होना चाहिए और किसी से मिलता जुलता नहीं होना चाहिए. Next, how will you check that it is registered? You just look for R placed inside a circle. Next, has any one of you heard about this case study? Starbucks versus Sardar Baksh. I know again you people won't be able to reply. So what happened here was, सरदार बख्श एक कंपनी थी जिन्होंने कॉफी का ही आउटलेट ओपन किया था, and they copied the style the way Starbucks was written inside the two circles और ये सब. Then Starbucks filed a complaint against Sardar Baksh, and ultimately Sardar Baksh lost, and they had to pay a huge amount of money. So whenever you start a new company, or whenever you try to get your trademark registered, please check that it should not be similar to anything which is already existing, right? If you file for an application, obviously we will also check it should not be similar. But if you start using it without getting it registered, if you're copying someone else's, then that is a criminal offense. Next, so you should not copy. Next, you should basically, it's not only the case about trademarks. For any intellectual property, you should not copy anyone's intellectual property, because someone has got it registered under their name. They are their rights only, right? We move on to the next category, that is copyrights. Copyrights kya hai? Bundle of rights. First thing is bundle of rights. Now what do you understand by bundle of rights? There are economic rights and there are non-economic rights. We will discuss this in the next slide. Copyright is an automatic right. What do you understand by an automatic right? It simply means that it is not mandatory for you to get it registered. But if it is not registered and if someone else uses it, how will you prove that it was yours? You won't be able to prove. So in such a case, it is good if it is registered under your name. Then you have exclusive right. Now again, this is true in case of any intellectual property rights. It allows the owner to choose the ways how the work is being used and prevent unauthorized copying or reproduction. Next. Oh, what is the criteria for your work to be copyrighted? First is it should have some creativity. कुछ ना कुछ नया होना चाहिए, कुछ ना कुछ original होना चाहिए. Next is fixation. Now fixation can be on a piece of paper. It can be handwritten also. It can be some recorded medium or anything which you are able to reproduce. It should not be that you have thought of a poem in your mind and you come to us and you say, ki, give me the copyright for this. It won't work, right? You will have to reproduce it somewhere. Next. This is the subject matter of copyrights, the way we discuss the different categories in trademarks. Similarly, these are some categories in copyrights. First is literary works. Literary works में क्या है? Novels, poems, books, stories, all these things fall under the subject, and user manual that we discussed earlier, all this falls under the subject matter of literary works, right? Then comes artistic works, designs and paintings. Dramatic works, theater सबने देखा है, that falls under the subject matter of dramatic works. Musical works. Now, if I talk about the lyrics of a song, lyrics कहाँ पे fall करेंगे? Literary works में. But you know, when we write that composition of a song, वो notations लिखते हैं ना different, that falls under the subject matter of musical works. And once lyrics and musical works are compiled in are recorded, I would say recorded in a sound recording museum, then that falls under the subject matter of sound recording works. So you can get a copyright at different stages when you are thinking of something new. Films सबने देखी हैं. Next, this I was talking about, that copyright is a bundle of rights. You have economic rights and non-economic, that is moral rights. Economic rights are transferable rights. You can assign your rights to someone. उससे क्या होगा? Whenever your work is being used anywhere, that person will get the benefits. What are moral rights? Moral rights are non-transferable. Non-transferable का क्या meaning है? If you have something registered under your name, you are the owner of that thing. You will always be the owner. You cannot assign your right of ownership to anyone else. अगर मैंने एक पोएम लिखी है तो मैं ही उसकी ऑथर रहूंगी. आई कैन असाइन द इकोनॉमिक राइट्स सो दैट वहां से जो भी फंड्स जनरेट हो वो सेकंड पर्सन को जाए, बट फाइनली जो ऑथर का नेम है उसमें ऑलवेज माय नेम वुड बी देयर, राइट? नेक्स्ट, this is the fee. Literary, dramatic, artistic, musical works, it is 500 rupees. Artistic, if it is capable of being used on goods and services, we have divided the category, that is 2000. Then sound recording again 2000, and for films it is 5000. Next, I'm feeling that there's a lack of interaction, but again, fine. Baghi versus Raid the Redemption. I think you people would have heard about this case. So Raid the Redemption was based on the other way around. We will talk. जो बागी के last 20 minutes थे, that was based on a movie called Raid the Redemption. बागी जिसने देखी है उनको पता होगा, last के 20 minutes में there is a sequence where Tiger Shroff enters the building and kills all other criminals. So ये जो 20 minutes का set है, Raid the Redemption में ये पूरी मूवी ही इसी पे बेस्ड थी. तो जब बागी आई तो Raid the Redemption ने बागी के अगेंस्ट केस किया था कि this is the copy of our film. But what happened eventually was the court said that ये बहुत ही एक जनरल सी चीज है, so इसके अगेंस्ट you cannot file a copy, like you cannot claim your copyrights. Fine. So ultimately, who won? Baghi people only won. Then there was a case that a chimpanzee or a monkey, I would say, he clicked a picture of himself. I can see some heads nodding, so I believe you people would have heard this case. So here what happened was there was a photographer, wildlife photographer, who by mistake left his camera in the forest, or maybe it was lost. This thing is not clear as of now. And some chimpanzee in the forest clicked pictures of itself. And after the pictures were clicked, the camera was found back again. And when these pictures went viral, PETA, that is People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, they filed a case against the photographer. The photographer's name was David Slater. You can also see on the screen Slater. So they said that since the picture has been clicked by monkey, the right should go to that monkey only, because copyright में क्या है, जो जिसने picture click की, that is the owner of that picture. So ideally जिसका वो काम की creation है, जिसने वो काम create किया है, that should only be the owner, right? तो उनके according ये था कि the chimpanzee should be the owner of this photograph, but the copyrights are only meant for human beings. तो finally हुआ क्या कि out of court settlement हुई between PETA and David Slater, or ultimately they decided that some part of royalty of this would go to PETA. Next is SICLD. Next, So as we were discussing that the in this time of changing technologies, we seriously need to reduce the size of electronic gadgets. और वो size कैसे reduce होगा? Simply by the way transistors and other circuitry elements are arranged on a chip. तो semiconductor integrated circuit क्या है? Simply the arrangement of transistors and other circuitry elements. What is layout design? The way they are arranged. Layout क्या है उसका? So if you think of some different design using transistors and other circuitry elements in a chip, then you can register for SICLD. SICLD registry office is only in Delhi. The way we had design office only in Kolkata. So SICLD की जितनी भी applications हैं, they are processed at Delhi office only. You can file anywhere online. Obviously, you can file through IP India online. Even if you're filing offline, just look for your jurisdiction and then file wherever your jurisdiction falls. From here, after digitization, the application will be forwarded to Delhi office. Next. Now we have geographical indications. Before moving forward, Smita ma'am, I have shared 2 links with you. So could you please play that video before we start with GI?
Which video, madam?
Ma'am, I have shared 2 links with you.
Okay, wait now.
Yeah, on WhatsApp I have shared. So this is a Google Meet link.
So shall I share that links in the chat box or question and
No,
answer?
can you play this video?
Okay.
Yeah, play and share the screen.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible, ma'am. I think the voice is not audible.
Yeah, it's been playing. It's like it's audible to me actually.
Yeah, it's audible. Fine, ma'am. No, again, I think the voice is not audible. There is a there would be an option to share the sound as well.
Is it audible to everyone?
No, actually, madam. There must be some provision for sharing sound also, no?
Okay, fine. Ma'am, no problem. If you are not able to share the sound, then it will be of no use. Let it be. We'll go back to the presentation. Yeah. So actually that video AI only, geographical indications. There were a few examples. So ma'am, what you can do is please share that link in the chat box so that participants can get an access to it. And afterwards they can have a look at it once.
Okay, sure.
So now we move on to the category of geographical indications. Geographical indications, as we discussed earlier, क्या है भूगोलिक उपदर्शन. whenever anything is associated to a particular location, a specific place, a product that have specific geographical origin and possess the qualities or a reputation that are due to that origin falls under the subject matter of geographical indications. You can see someone's mic is on, I guess. You can see on the screen Darjeeling tea. First example is of Darjeeling tea. So this was the first GI that was registered. You people also would have heard about GIs of Pune. I would be specific to Pune since this session is being conducted here. So copperware of Pune सुना होगा आप लोगों ने, पुनेरी पगड़ी सुनी होगी आप लोगों ने, और if we talk about this region, then कोल्हापुरी मसाला, कोल्हापुरी चप्पल, ये सब आपने सुना होगा. तो ये क्यों फेमस है? क्योंकि ये प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं वो उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में कुछ डिफरेंट qualities hai unme, right? Next slide please. On all these slides we have simply the examples of GIs. Makrana marble jo Taj Mahal mein use hua hai, Kanchipuram silk, Ratlami save all of you would have heard. Next. Rajasthan ki Kathputliyan we can see here, then Bagh prints of Madhya Pradesh. ये सब कुछ ऐसे examples हैं which all of you would have heard. So basically GI है क्या? जब भी हम बात करेंगे किसी भी product की which is specific to a particular location, then we can get it registered under the subject matter of GI, right? Next, IP everywhere. Ma'am, the second link that I shared with you that you can play, that won't require sound. Like people will only have to watch it. So if you could please play it and share the screen.
Yes,
I want you people to have a look at the upcoming video very carefully, because this is a kind of gist of the entire session that we have discussed today. It is related to the things that we see in our day-to-day lives and the different intellectual properties that are associated with those objects, right? From starting our day till we end our day, there are different objects that we come across. Ma'am, you please share it side by side because we don't need.
Yes.
So right from starting of our day till the time we go back to our bed, we come across different objects which have different intellectual properties associated with them. This video is regarding that only. So kindly have a look at this video very carefully.
Sunita madam, is there an issue?
Yeah. can stop the video. We can go back to the presentation where we left. So now I think you people would have got a, I would say, a very good idea regarding the different intellectual properties that could be there in a single product or the different products that we see in our day-to-day lives, right? So now what I want you people to do is consider this as an exercise. Whenever you come across anything, be it a table placed on your site, or the chair that you're sitting on, or the mobiles that you would be attending this session through, or the laptops or the computer systems, whatever product you come across, just try to identify the different types of intellectual properties that could be present in that particular object, right? So that when you think about something new, when you want to get that registered, you should have a clear idea that under which subject matter that thing will fall, right? Next, we discuss about the validity of different intellectual property rights that we have discussed today. First is patents. Patents is granted to you for a term of 20 years, right? Designs, initially it is registered for 10 years, then you can get it renewed for another 5 years. So the maximum time period is 15 years. If I talk about trademarks or GI, then initially these both are registered for 10 years and then you can get them renewed for another 10 years, another 10 years, and so on. Now, copyright has an interesting fact. If we talk about the literary works, the term of copyright is the lifetime of the author plus 60 years even after the death of author. There is a specific there's a specific condition related to GI. When we were talking about GI, we said that GI is related to a particular location. Now, it's not possible that on a particular location only a single person is staying, right? So GI has to be filed by a legal representative of that location. An individual cannot file for GI. Next, all IP rights are territorial in nature. What does this mean? This simply means that if you have claimed the right intellectual property in India, that does not give you the same rights in Europe or US or anywhere outside India. If you want to claim the rights for the same intellectual property anywhere outside India, you have to file it separately over there, right? First protect, then publish. This is a very important thing which most of us forget to do. I'll take a very basic example from our school or college lives, the students that are studying there. For example, your teacher gave you an assignment. You completed it first, your friend copied it from you, but submitted it before you. Who will get the credits for that? Your friend, right? So, will you be able to prove that you actually did it? No. But obviously, we won't get the assignments protected. This was just a simple example. You can take another example of शायरीज. आप में से कुछ स्टूडेंट्स बहुत अच्छी शायरीज या पोएम्स लिखते होंगे. What we do these days is we write 2 lines and share on WhatsApp. हो सकता है वो इतनी फेमस हो जाए बाद में कि उसके लिए आपको रॉयल्टी मिल सकती थी. But since you shared it first on WhatsApp, now it is available in the public domain. You will not be able to claim the rights for this. So this is very important that first get your intellectual property registered under your name and then only be it in the public domain, right? Registration is done by Government of India. This all of us know. Rights are for limited period of time. वो कितना time था that I explained you in the previous slide. कोई ऑटोमेटिक रिलीफ नहीं होता है. अगर कोई आपकी इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी का illegally यूज कर रहा है, then you will have to file a case, right? Then for some IPRs you have to pay a renewal fee. And one more important thing, patent agent के through file करना is not compulsory. You can file on your own also. When you visit the website IP India online, you will see a very easy sequence of steps to be followed for to file for any intellectual property, right? Next, copyright and trade secret need patent agents. What are the career opportunities? Next, if you look for government jobs, then you can be an examiner of any of the intellectual properties that we have discussed today. I myself am an examiner of patents and designs. You can be an examiner of trademark and GI. You can be an examiner of copyrights. Others are patent agent, trademark agent, JRF, SRF, or patent litigation. Next. If you need any further training, detailed training on any of the intellectual property rights, then these are the details of our training center. You can contact them. Possible for you to share this in the chat box, then please do. If not, then you have the presentation, at least your institute can access anytime. Next, please. You can share it afterwards. Now I have a quiz for you people. You people can reply in the chat box, right?
Yes.
So we'll start with the quiz. Which type of IP protects the painting painted by the artists? Painting किसके अंडर fall होगा? We discussed the categories also. This is a hint for you people. I have received one answer, I think.
Copyright.
Copyright. Okay.
Copyright.
Anyone else? Okay. I don't want the faculty members to answer actually. They would be knowing. Anyone from the students?
Actually, since they don't have direct access, they
Okay,
can't
okay.
do it.
Okay, fine. So yes, copyright is the right answer. Next question, please. Intellectual property created by fashion designers. This quiz is actually very simple. Fashion designers will protect, like they will protect their property under. This has the answer in question itself.
Designs.
Exactly. Next question, please. Advanced disc brakes for the bike developed by inventors. Now we are talking about advancement. So be very careful. Patents, exactly. Since we are talking about advancement in technology. Next.
Participants also can answer. They can post their answers in the question and answer Q&A. There is one option.
But I'm not seeing any answer here. I don't know. Fine, not an issue. Which of these is a geographical indication?
Nagpur orange.
Nagpur. Okay, since ma'am is answering all the questions, we will not continue this quiz any further.
Okay.
Ma'am, ma'am, next, please. I think this is the end. Okay, so now I've started receiving some answers. Nagpur. Oh, okay, we'll take the last question. How long can a patent last? Please reply in the chat box. Ma'am, please don't reply. Ma'am, no.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So 20 years. Apurva has answered. Very good.
Yes.
Next, please. If you write an original story, what type of intellectual property gives you the right to decide who can make and sell copies of your work? Copyright. Again, faculty members are answering. Fine. Next. We'll end this. I'll take the queries from you people if you have any queries or doubts.
Yes.
I can see one question in the chat box.
Yes.
From Mr. Ganesh. What are the essential patent documents to be generated and submitted by a potential patentee? So as far as I can understand this question, I think I've already explained the 5 forms that were supposed to be filled. So those forms are Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 5, and Form 18. Any other query?
Let us take in the question. This forum is open for a interaction, question and answer session. So all participants are requested to share their questions if they do have it in the question and answer box.
Or ma'am, you can do one more thing. You can share my email ID in the chat box.
Yeah.
So afterwards also, if they have any query, they can mail it to me. So my
Yes.
email ID, even if the students are listening to me, so you can note it down, mehak.ipo, that is MEHAK.IPO @gov.in. I'll also place it in the chat box.
I don't know somehow, but chat box should have been there, no, in the meeting.
Yes, it should be
It's
there,
not
but
there. I don't know.
maybe it's streaming live, so that could be
Maybe for that reason.
yeah, not an issue. So I think students would have noted it down. So anyone else, if you have any query, you can ask me, or otherwise we'll proceed towards the end. So we have around 177 students right now, 177 participants.
Yes.
That's quite a good number.
Yeah. No, actually, registered
We,
number is more a bit. We are
yeah,
also
yeah, yeah,
wondering why they have not able to join.
not an issue still.
Even I would like to inform all other participants who are there in the session right now, because I'm going to share the feedback link for everyone. So those who are going to fill that feedback link, no, those students and faculties will get the certificate. Rest all will not receive it. This is on behalf of Mehak Madam. I am just informing them. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, yeah. So you have you shared the link, ma'am, with them?
No, I'm going to share it.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Okay.
Yeah, it
So
was
I
a good
think,
presentation, ma'am. It was
thank
really
you so
good
much, ma'am.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was very
simplified and very
yes, it was
nice way
very
it was
in a
presented.
simple way and interactive, and making it this like fun loving.
Thank you so
In
much.
those
Thank you.
videos. Thank you so much.
Videos were the icing on the top, icing on the cake.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely interacting with you people. Great to have an audience like you.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
supportive.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Shall we proceed towards the end of the conclusion of the session?
Yes,
Right,
please.
right.
Now we request our IQSC coordinator, Jayashree Jagtap Madam, to extend the vote of thanks. Over to you.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon to all. I am Professor Jayashree Jagtap in the capacity of IQSC coordinator. Feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks of today's online intellectual property rights awareness program under the flagship of Kalam program for IP literacy and awareness and National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission, popularly known as Kapila and Nipam respectively. On behalf of PDS Set Govinda Raghunath, Sabre College of Pharmacy, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Mehak Batra ma'am, examiner of patents and design, Patent Office Mumbai, DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India for her kind presence and enlightening us with her knowledge on IPR. Today's lecture was full of knowledge about IPR. It gave useful insights into the topic. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge Mehak Batra gave us will definitely help our students and staff participants in their future studies. I must thank Ministry of Education, Innovation, SAIL, EICT, and DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for giving us opportunity to host such an important session related to intellectual property rights for our students and staff participants. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Rajeshri Chavan, madam, for giving us permission and her logistic guidance to organize this program, as well as for sharing objectives of arranging IPR sessions in higher educational institutes. I would also thankful to our principal, vice principal and coordinator of today's program, Dr. Smita Pawar, for her sincere efforts in organizing such an informative session for us and for sharing background of arranging today's program. I would like to thank all the participants for sparing their valuable time and active participation during the session. I would also like to thank our teaching and non-teaching staff and students for their support. I once again thank everyone whose contribution has made this workshop a successful one. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope you
So
had a
with this,
nice
we would conclude the meeting. Thank you all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
you.
Thanks to all of you.
ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Have a nice
Have a
day.
good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall we end the meeting?
Yes.